in jail for the rest of his life. I think he's probably going to get.
Think he's insane though?
I don't know. I don't even think it matters. I mean, it's a lot of it is.
But then it's just another Epstein. It's another Ghislaine Maxwell, where somebody gets indicted and nobody else indicted for trafficking kids to.
Right.
No one.
To no one. Right. We're like, what is the next crazy thing that's going to explode in the news? Is Bill Clinton's going to have an OnlyFans? Like, what is going to happen? What is the next thing that's going to make us all go, what the f? Like, what the f is going on?
It's coming.
Like,
you know
how many guys were on video saying, ain't no party like a Diddy party? How many people like openly talked about being there?
LeBron?
Yeah, how about Ashton, Kutcher, all these people? Like, you guys all went, you didn't see nothing?
Joe Rogan just opened a door most people were too scared to even knock on, and what he found behind it could unravel the entire entertainment industry. On his podcast, Joe didn't just speculate, he connected dots, dangerous dots. From Diddy's alleged blackmail empire to Epstein's island operations, to Universal Music Group's shadowy executives and the silent billionaires funding it all. This isn't just one man going down. This is a system being exposed. And the scariest part? Rogan might have said too much. Before we go any further, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications because this is the video they don't want you to see.
Never thought these words would come out my mouth, but Candace Owens is onto something, and that did not feel comfortable at all. So Candace says the reason mainstream news is not picking up this lawsuit, is not paying attention to Diddy at all, is because of this man right here, Lucian Grainge. He is one of the most powerful men in Hollywood and music, and he been up in Diddy's room. So this man right here is Sir Lucian Charles Grainge. He's been the CEO of Universal Music Group since 2010, so you know he done seen some shit. So I had to go to the damn documents. I had to see if this man was actually named, and he is. As you can see, it says Lucian Charles Grainge, and it also says Universal Music Group. On top of that, it says Ethiopia. I cannot fuck up her last name. I refuse to. But she was also a big person in Universal Music Group. And then Christina Coramham, Lord forgive me, but she was like Diddy's second hand.
Now let's break down the terrifying truth behind the Hollywood power pyramid Joe Rogan just ripped open. It all started when Joe Rogan reacted to Diddy's arrest and the chilling allegations piling up. Most people saw a disgraced mogul going down, but Rogan saw a pattern, a playbook. The same script they used for Epstein, one guy takes the fall, but the people he was working for remain untouched. Rogan didn't pull any punches. He said what millions were thinking but afraid to say out loud. If Diddy really did what he's accused of, then who were all those tapes for? Because here's the horrifying truth. Diddy allegedly hosted secret parties, freak-offs, where celebrities, influencers, even underage victims were filmed without consent. And Rogan's question hit like a bullet. Who was watching? Who was collecting the footage? That's not just ego or kink. That's blackmail. That's infrastructure. And when you have infrastructure for blackmail, you're not a lone predator. You're part of a system. So, who builds systems like that? Enter Sir Lucian Grainge, CEO of Universal Music Group. His name came up in court documents tied to the Little Rod lawsuit, and that's when things got terrifyingly real. According to the claims, Grainge wasn't just an executive, he was allegedly involved in hosting or sponsoring some of these parties. Diddy's own tequila brands Deleon and Ciroc were reportedly used to lace drinks.
So you have these guys, like a Jeffrey Epstein type guy, who works with the elite of the elite clientele. It's all movie stars, big-time politicians, world leaders, scientists, Nobel Prize winners, and they all meet together and have fascinating conversations and cocktails, and there's beautiful girls everywhere. Of course. What a great idea.
Right.
And if you're naive and you don't understand honeypots.
Here's the quote from Maria Farmer, who was one of the accusers from what was inside the house in New York.
Okay, she said, there were monitors inside this cabinet. I looked on the cameras and I saw toilet, bed, toilet. She said, visibly spooked. Like, I'm never going to use the restroom here and I'm never going to sleep here. You know what I mean? It was very obvious that they were like monitoring private moments. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. Maria Farmer was the one who worked at Epstein's office in New York, I think.
And this was the house, Jamie?
Yeah, I was looking up stuff on the house. That was like what they found.
I wonder if
in
the house still has fucking cameras in it somewhere that they haven't found yet.
They definitely, don't know.
Yeah, you'd have to scan the shit out of that house. You'd have to take the walls apart. There's probably listening devices inside the walls. Like, who knows? If this was like really an intelligence operation, yeah, they probably had that house fully wired.
Victims alleged they were drugged, filmed, and leveraged. And if true, Grainge and other top execs didn't just look the other way. They funded the operation. They allowed it. Why? Because artists like Diddy make billions. Protecting the golden goose, even if it's covered in blood, is worth it to people who trade in power, not morals. And Candace Owens, as uncomfortable as it is to admit, was one of the few mainstream voices willing to say it outright. This man controls what gets covered and what gets buried. Joe Rogan also dragged in names that no one wants to hear in this context. LeBron James, Ashton Kutcher, celebrities who've openly bragged about attending Diddy's legendary parties. Ain't no party like a Diddy party. You've seen the clips. You've heard the interviews. Rogan's challenge wasn't even an accusation. It was a question. You guys all went. You didn't see anything? The silence is deafening. In this kind of scandal, silence is protection. It's the currency of complicity. Either they knew and stayed quiet, or they saw nothing because someone made sure they didn't. Either way, the fact that no one's talking, not one A-lister, tells you everything you need to know about how deep this thing goes. When the elite stay silent in unison, it's not because they're innocent, it's because they're scared. Then we get to Jay-Z. His connection to Diddy isn't just professional, it's personal.
Only one person. Oh, go on. And I call him Sean. That's Jay-Z. We call each other Sean. Okay. Yeah. Nobody else could call me Sean.
He's the only person who's Sean approved.
There's not a single person that
outside of family.
That should be outside of my mother.
Okay, just
that should be calling me. Yeah, that should be calling me Sean.
Diddy once said only 2 people are allowed to call him by his real name, his mother and Jay-Z. That's it. Nobody else. These two have built empires side by side, sharing secrets, deals, and access. So, when Jaguar Wright called them both monsters during an interview with Piers Morgan, an interview that mysteriously vanished almost instantly, it sent shockwaves. Why would something be buried so fast unless there was something to hide? Jay-Z has never been asked about any of this. Not once. He sits down with people like Gayle King and gets softball questions. While the world burns around him, that's not coincidence. That's protection. Wright questioned why Jay-Z's personal attorney got involved in Diddy's legal defense. And when high-profile lawyers move in silence, it's usually not because of loyalty, it's because of shared secrets. But if Jay-Z and Diddy are just powerful figures in the middle of this pyramid, then who sits at the top? Rogan and his guests, like former CIA officer Mike Baker, always circle back to the same model. Facilitators like Diddy or Epstein create controlled environments for elites to indulge, record everything, and keep the leverage. Then someone else uses that footage to pull strings, NDAs, legal teams, silent threats. It's not just about sex or scandal, it's about control. And that control reaches into government, tech, religion, and media. Why do you think the Epstein client list has never come out? Why do you think those thousands of hours of Diddy party tapes are being quietly moved and not aired?
Between Diddy and Epstein, it's good. There's probably several thousand hours of footage here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I should say, I think you voted for Biden.
I'd like to see a matchup of those, call it the top 100 puppet masters on the Epstein client list.
Do you think there's some overlap?
Strong overlap. Strong overlap.
When are we going to see that list, do you think?
I don't know.
Will that ever come out, do you think?
You know, I think part of why Kamala is getting so much support is that if Trump wins, that Epstein client list is going to become public.
Yes.
And some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome.
Yeah. Do you think Reid Hoffman's uncomfortable?
Yes. And Gates.
And Gates.
Yeah.
And I only ask that because you just look at them and you're like, that's a nervous person right there. I don't know. I mean, I assume you know them. Yeah.
Yes.
Because the names on those tapes could rewrite history. Elon Musk, during his podcast with Rogan, didn't even flinch when Rogan asked if billionaires like Reid Hoffman or Bill Gates were nervous about what might get exposed. Elon just said, yes, no hesitation. Just confirmation. He even hinted that if certain political figures win the next election, those lists, the Epstein tapes, the Diddy videos could come out. And that's why the billionaire class is panicking. Not because they care about justice, but because they care about getting caught. Musk even mentioned Jennifer Lopez, asking the question no one wanted to ask. She dated Diddy. She partied with him. Where were her warnings? What did she know? And why hasn't she ever spoken up? Rogan also pointed out that Diddy isn't even being charged for the one crime we've all seen on video, the brutal hotel assault of Cassie. If they're not charging him for what we know happened, what does that say about the stuff they're still hiding? This is selective prosecution. It's designed to protect certain people while sacrificing others. When federal agents raided Diddy's properties, they reportedly found thousands of hours of video footage. Not one tape, not 5, thousands. That's not a party archive, that's a surveillance operation. And now, word is spreading that those tapes are being quietly reviewed, moved, maybe even destroyed. Why? Because what's on them might implicate more than celebrities. It could blow the lid off the entire pyramid. The religious angle makes this even darker. In 50 Cent's documentary The Reckoning, there's a shot of Bishop T.D. Jakes during a segment discussing Diddy's parties. It wasn't a mistake, and when Bishop Jakes was asked about it, his answer only made things worse. Instead of denying it, he danced around it. "Repentance covers all sins," he said. But he also added, "I didn't need to repent for this." What does that even mean? Jaguar Wright was clear if Jakes was there, it was for access or money. And Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, hinted that Jakes may have appeared on some tapes. That's the power of the pyramid. It corrupts everything, even the church. The deeper you dig, the more names start to blur together. Oprah, Clive Davis, even political dynasties. And when researchers mapped it all out as a literal pyramid, it made horrifying sense. Diddy and Jay-Z might look like kings, but they still answer to the gatekeepers above them. And those gatekeepers answer to the ones we'll probably never see. Rogan summed it up in one line. If this wasn't run by intelligence, then it's the most evil genius operation of all time. Cameras everywhere, phones banned, victims drugged, secrets recorded, then buried. That's not chaos, that's orchestration. So, where does this leave us? We're watching the same movie again. Epstein, Maxwell, now Diddy. One arrest, no client list, no co-conspirators, just a warning shot. Rogan's podcast might be the first mainstream platform to finally put all the pieces together. And now that the map is out there, it's not just about Diddy anymore. It's about who's really in charge. Who decides what stories get told? Who decides who gets protected? And if this pyramid scheme is real and all signs say it is, then the scariest part isn't what we already know. It's what we haven't seen yet. What's still being kept from us? What's on those tapes? And who's holding the remote?